Is this justice? Is this justice?
Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by the obviously Lee Authentic channel. My name's Leah, that's spelled L-E-A and not L-E-A-H. But before we get into this video, I just want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to Alex Saltier TV. He retweeted my video about about Candace and Wendy, and I got new subscribers, so welcome to my new subscribers. But thank you so much, Alex. Y'all should definitely go check out his channel, especially for tonight. He is doing a panel discussion with All True Tea, the Brooke Ashley and Tisa Tells. So I know it's gonna be good because they're gonna be getting into all the nitty gritty about Erica and Tom's and what all the goings on. Heck, you should definitely check out his channel if you want to really know like all that has been brought up about them. He did like a really good video about it, so I'm gonna link his channel below. But again, thank you so much, Alex. So let's get into this video because it was shenanigans. But again, thank you to all my new subscribers, and again, thank you, Alex. So y'all, let's get into it because it was a mess. It was a mess. Let me give me some water first because we're gonna be talking. So it opens up with Dorit and PK, and she's trying on her wedding dresses. I actually like the wedding dresses. I think the one that I liked the most was the one that they called The Moment. I think the pearl was cute. I didn't like the actress. And the woman, I kind of didn't see that as being bridal, to be honest. It gave me more like red carpet. Like, you know, going to like the Oscars or the Emmys or the Grammys. But the moment, I thought the moment was really pretty. That was a beautiful dress. I really think Dorit should just stick with doing wedding dresses because even when she got on her season and was talking about Beverly Beach with the swimwear and then doing the athleisure, it never was anything where I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was never wowed by anything. But the dresses that she showed, I actually thought they were really nice. And one of my favorite shows is Say Yes to the Dress. Like, y'all, it always gets me in my feelings, you know, hearing people's love stories and stuff. It be taking me out. But I really thought her dresses were nice. I feel like if she stuck with it, she could probably make a good profit, and then her and PK would stop being in the, like, you know, the tabloids or on the blogs about having money trouble and allegedly not paying their taxes. Like, girl, stick with what you're good at, and these wedding dresses is it. So then we see Kyle and Sutton. They're at Sutton's home. Side note, y'all, Sutton got money. Sutton got pesos. Sutton got money. Because there is no way, I don't say no way. I've never met anyone. I have older cousins who are like, you know, in their 30s that are married, that have kids, that have like renovated homes or like purchased homes. And they'll move back in with like their parents, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know, to save up money because they're spending so much on like doing renovations and stuff. But the fact that Sutton is spending $20,000 worth of rent money at Kyle's home, and then she's also getting this really nice home renovated, Sutton got money. Sutton has money, and I really want to see what her home looks like once it's finished, because I know her closet is going to be perfection. Like, I'm not even in the closets like that, but when she said she wanted a footstool so she could put on her shoes, I said, everybody need that in their closet. Everybody needs that in their closet. I just was like, and when she was describing everything, I was like, oh, this house is about to be really nice. Like, this is about to be a nice home. So like, Sutton got coin. Sutton got pace. Sutton got money, bruh. Sutton has money. So her and Kyle are outside sitting, I think, beside the pool that they had at her home. And basically, Sutton is me. Sutton don't believe Erica. And Sutton, I think, so this is my thing. I don't think Sutton is saying that Erica is lying in terms of she knew that for years and years that Tom was allegedly stealing this money from the victims of these settlements. I think what Sutton is saying is that I feel like Erica did get a heads up. I also feel like Erica is helping Tom's case. And I was like, I believe that too. Because every time Erica mentions Tom, she always has to put in there, like, you know, after that accident in 2017, you know, his mental capacity was just dwindling. And it's like, sis, this been going on for like almost 30 years, allegedly. Like, it's been 30 years of people saying that this man has been taking their settlement money. This ain't just happened in 3 years, sis. It didn't. And I do agree with Sutton when Sutton said that Erica probably got a heads up from Tom that like the gig is up. I believe it. I really believe Tom was like, sis, the plane is about to crash. You got two options. Either take this parachute and jump off this plane and hopefully you land to safety, or stick with me in this, and like stick with me in the plane and we go down with the plane and blow up together. And I think she chose to put on that parachute and hopefully pray to God that she landed somewhere safe, because it does look like you're helping him, Erica. It's like, and that's just what it is. And then my other thing is like, stop calling Sutton a small town girl. Augusta is a pretty big city. Like, it's not enormous compared to like Atlanta. Like, it's no Atlanta, it's no DC, but it's a decent sized city where a lot of festivals happen. And I mean, a lot of like noteworthy festivals happen in Augusta. Like, if it don't happen in Atlanta, it's either gonna happen in Augusta or it's gonna happen in Savannah. So it's kind of like you calling it her small town girl, trying to belittle her. You look stupid. Because it's like, well, you're from there too, dummy. So it's like, in a sense, you're making a drag at your own self, which I was kind of like, I don't know. I just don't think it's a good dig. I think that's what I'm getting at. It's like, okay, small town girl, okay. I'm a small town girl with more money than you. At least my man ain't going to jail for stealing, for thievery. See, Sutton got this. I need to be Sutton. Because when I tell you, I would be in there throwing slick shade like, yeah, I'm from a small town where we don't steal from people. I can't. So as she's talking to Kyle was like, what do you mean? Like, you think something's like wrong? And see, this is my thing. Kyle calls Sutton two-faced at the dinner from hell that we gonna get to, but Kyle is two-faced to me. Kyle has Google alerts about your friend and all the things popping up. If I was Erica, I would look at Kyle like, damn, girl, why you in my business like that? But you mad at Sutton, who has clearly voiced her opinion. And the fact that they keep running back and forth to Erica is highly annoying, when it's like, y'all keep pressing everybody to be more direct and open, but y'all are being two-faced because y'all are not telling y'all side of the story. Like, why isn't Erica mad at Dorit? She probably is now after that dinner. But why isn't Erica mad at Dorit? Because Dorit said something wasn't right. Kyle said something wasn't right. So it's like, something ain't right. On top of that, I agree with Sutton. Sutton was like, she's been handling Erica with kid gloves because she's been feeling like she didn't want to push the girl over the edge. But she coming at her now. So it's like, you're coming at me, so obviously you not that fragile like Sutton said, so we can go toe to toe. And the other thing is like, Erica got so much venom and so much vitriol for Sutton, but I guarantee you, had it been any other one of the ladies, like if it was Kyle or even Garcella Crystal, she wouldn't be coming at them like that. But she's coming at Sutton that way because she thinks she can punk Sutton, and because we know Sutton will cry and like shrivel up. But I was just like, I don't like it. So then we get to Crystal's house, y'all. I want to say this, and I know I told y'all I was warming up to Crystal. I done got cooled down to her now. Crystal is an insecure, following ass bitch. She really is. Because in that, and we gonna put the clip in here, y'all. But in the 25 seconds of when they were having this exchange, so I didn't explain the scene to y'all.
Really?
I've never heard of her. Ever.
Someone's only important if you know who they are? Come on.
If Sutton did that with another group,
She'd be back in Augusta. Done.
How about this? Before I met Crystal, I didn't know Crystal. I knew Rob Minkoff.
We're members of the same country club.
So we at Crystal's house. We see Lucy. Hey, Lucy, over there cutting their meat. And they're eating dinner. So it is Erica, Crystal, Kathy, and Garcelle. So they're eating the food looked bomb. We also found out about Crystal's kids learning Chinese, which I'm glad that she's teaching them their culture. It was always weird to me, especially like I said, I've grown up in DC, and DC is like a melting pot of people of different cultures, and I would meet people who couldn't speak like, you know, either Spanish or the African dialect, or even like Vietnamese or Korean or Chinese or Japanese. And it would always strike me as odd because I was like, well, how do you know like what your parents want or like what your grandparents want? And they would always say like my parents didn't teach it to me because they wanted them to assimilate to the culture. But I'm glad that Crystal isn't wanting that for her kids. It was really cute to see the little boy. I think he was reciting a poem, and they were like how grandma was like her grandma, well not her grandma, her mom was so proud of him, and I was like, that probably warmed her heart to see her grandson speaking Chinese and doing it so well. So I'm glad that she's teaching them. That's the only point she get. It's the only point she get. Now let's get to this demo. Basically, they was talking Cash Money-ish about Sutton, and I ain't like it. Look. Sutton is weird. Sutton is awkward. Sutton is kooky, but it frustrated me because it was like, y'all are talking about this lady like y'all aren't her. Especially Kathy. Kathy over there talking about like, you know, I've been to this, me and you, because so this is how the scene plays out. Erica asks Kathy, like, hey, you know, me and you have been to the same country club. Have you ever heard of Sutton? And then Crystal's like, never. Like, you know, never. I've never heard of her. Like, I've never heard of her. And, you know, if she would have, and then Kathy's like, if she would have did what she did in this group, Crystal gonna be like, she would be back in Augusta. She'd be done. And I was like, Crystal, shut up. That's why Crystal wants to be in the in crowd so bad. Like she does. Like it was very much like, sis, you were saying stuff too that you didn't agree with the story that Erica is saying, but now all of a sudden you up Erica's vagina. Like for real, Crystal. And I was warming up to Crystal, but now I'm not because she fake as hell. Because the way she like, she just, oh my, it really, honestly, y'all, it really gave me high school vibes of like the quiet girl who now has gotten into the popular girl group, and like she was never rude or mean, but then she turned into a raging bitch, and then it was only because she wanted to be liked by them. And that's really what Crystal gave me in that 25-second clip of like her just being like, never, she be done. I've never heard of her. I never heard of her. And like Garcelle said, bitch, we didn't know who you was. We didn't. I didn't even know who you were. We know your husband. I didn't even know who your husband was. So y'all ain't nobody. Yo, they get on my nerves. They get on my nerves. And what made me like, and then it aggravated me with Kathy, because I'm like, Kathy, shut up, Kathy. Because I guarantee you, if you and Erica were like closer friends, like if it was on some like Crystal type stuff, if Crystal was the one that was in Erica's places, Kathy would be Sutton. Because Kathy don't want nobody coming to touch her money, especially after seeing the way they did her little dinner party. Kathy would not want to be nowhere near Erica. So move along with that. Move along with that one now. Like, So let's, I'm going to talk about this real quick, but Kyle and Mauricio are having a 25-year anniversary. Congratulations to them. You know, they got married in 1996 and they look happy. Woo. So on to this dinner. So we see Garcelle on FaceTime with Sutton, and Sutton is getting in her glam. And Sutton is like, girl, I got beef with Erica, but we got to stand up for ourselves. And I said, okay, they coming ready. The dinner party looked nice. Y'all, we end up meeting Patrick. I like Patrick's French behind. Patrick, I know Patrick was talking Cash Money-ish about them in the kitchen when they started fighting. Because Patrick was like, they fighting like cats and dogs and that. I know Patrick said, But like, Kathy's walking around the house. The table looked beautiful. Everything looked really nice, you know. They had their dinner. Lisa Rinna is the first one to show up. She kind of looked lost, but that's because there was nobody to greet her at the door, and she came early. And Kathy even said in her like talking head, she don't like when people come early because she likes to fluff things, like make sure everything is like correct. Like there's enough like hand towels in the bathroom. There's enough soap in the soap dispenser. There's you know, the lights are just right. All of that stuff. But Alicia showed up early. Then, you know, everybody shows up. Sutton is like the last person to arrive, and you could already tell like they was probably talking about her. Well, no, Sutton's not the last person to arrive. Garcelle's the last person to arrive, but it was kind of awkward. I felt bad for Sutton because it was just like you could tell that like nobody is really like vibing with Sutton, but like they're trying to play nice with her because they know how bad they looked with the way they treated Denise. So now they're just trying to be like cool, but they don't really like Sutton. And Crystal just wants to be a part of the in crowd, because when they're sitting at the table before everything pops off, everyone's going to sit down. They're eating like the caviar pie with vodka. I've never heard of that. I don't like the taste of caviar. I've had it. It didn't do nothing for me. But you know, they have little hors d'oeuvres going around. Everybody's like enjoying themselves. And so they're about to like officially like sit down to eat. And Sutton and Erica are sitting next to each other. And Sutton's like, I think me and you need to talk. Erica rudely is like, there's nothing I need to talk to you about. You know, I just want you to know your opinion of me does not matter. I'm going to the bathroom. And so she gets up walking off like she done said something. And I'm like, girl, you ain't doing that. That's why Sutton needs me there. She needs me there. Because I'd have been like, you ain't doing nothing. Sit your ass down with the hole, with all them holes in your shirt. If you wanted a hole, like, what is that? Like, I couldn't. So Sutton is kind of taken aback because she was like, well, I'm just trying to like get clarity between us because I don't think we really should have an issue. Then I was happy that Sutton basically called everybody out at the table once everybody sat down and was like, since none of y'all are going to say anything, I'm going to speak for myself and that's okay. Which I'm like, yeah, because all of y'all have said something. All of y'all. Kathy has said something. Crystal said something. Kyle definitely has said something. What's her name? Garcelle said something. Dorit has said something. The only person who hasn't said nothing is Lisa Rinna. That is the only person that hasn't said anything. But everybody else has said something. So Dorit was about to get started. And Kathy said, no, bitch, we're not doing this at my house. Kathy basically was like, not at my home. You will not have these shenanigans going on. But then she realized she probably should have let Dorit talk and take over the conversation, because then Erica and Sutton got started. So then Lisa kicks off the Erica versus Sutton. She has a stupid bell ringing it, and that's to let like the butler come in to like change plates and stuff like that because of how big the house is. But Lisa is drunk as you don't like, drunk as like my daddy say, drunk as Cuda Brown, and she's like ringing the bell obnoxiously, and she's like, let's play a game. And she was like, whoever has any problems, say what you have to say if you have the bell in your hand. So Sutton, you go first. And everyone's like, that's not fair, because they know Sutton and Erica have beef. So y'all, I wrote down notes. So let's get it. So they get to talking. And Sutton's like, you've only heard everybody else's opinion of like what my opinion was. You haven't heard me. Like, I'm trying to tell you like my side. And Erica's like, there is no side. Like, how does my problems affect you? Girl, they do affect you. And then I'll give Dorit a point. So I'm not gonna call her Dorit. Dorit was like, come on, Erica, like you have to understand that every time they write something in the paper about you, our names are in it. Like, we're brought up, which is true. So it's like they have a reason to be concerned. So Erica acting like it's something wrong with you trying to have self-preservation and make sure you're okay is stupid to me, because that's what she's doing now by trying to act like, you know, push Tom aside and say, I'm innocent, I didn't do anything. So Garcelle chimes in and tries to tell her, like, girl, that's not, like, you don't understand that. So then all of a sudden Erica got one tear coming down the side of her face, like she trying to win her bet, trying to win an Emmy or Oscar. And so Sutton and Erica are still going back and forth, and Sutton's is just like, stop telling me to be quiet, stop talking over me. And Erica's like, I'm not talking over you. Wish she was. She did raise her voice because Erica was like, because Sutton was like, don't raise your voice at me. And Erica's like, I'm not raising my voice at you. And then when Sutton raises her voice, Erica's like, don't raise your voice at me. I'm like, sis. So then Erica's getting all, and before we go even further into this, I did not like how everyone blamed Sutton when Erica walked off before the dinner had kicked off. Because like Kathy and Kyle and Garcelle was like, what did you do? And Sutton was like, no, I asked if we could have a private conversation and she didn't take it well. And I'm like, why are y'all coddling this 50-something-year-old woman? Like, what is this? What is this? Like, what is this? Like, Erica was rude as hell to Sutton. And even if I didn't like Sutton, I would still say Erica was rude. Like, in case in point, if Sutton was Lisa Rinna, and Erica did what she did to Lisa, like, what if Erica did what she did to Sutton and Lisa Rinna took Sutton's place, I would say that she was still rude. Because Sutton wasn't raising her voice at her. Sutton legit was like, I just want to have a private conversation with you so we can hash things out. And then Erica just took it to the, like, Erica just was being dramatic. Erica was being so freaking dramatic. Like, I laughed when she was like, look at my fucking life. When I said tell you, I hollered, I cackled. Because I'm like, girl, your life is fine, ma'am. Yes, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. It sucks that you have all, like, that everything that you thought, like, you thought your life was good, and then all of a sudden the bottom fell out. But you have this this show, which I know you're getting paid a good coin for. If you are smart, you will write a tell-all book and get even more money. But the people who have suffered, who are still suffering, the orphans, the widows, burn victims, other people who got cancer, their life is effed up. Like, Erica, what the hell, bruh? You over here like, my life. She's like, why are you tormenting me? And I was like, Erica, calm down. So, because Dorit, she started going at Dorit, and Dorit was being very valid. Dorit was like, you have to give us something. Like, you do. You want us to, like champion you, and you got to give us something. And then Crystal made some, like, off-color comment talking about, you know, Chris has had people on his cast that have been Me Too'd, but, you know, that has nothing to do with him. Crystal, shut the hell up, because that had nothing to do with this conversation, dummy. Talk about, Me Too. Shut up. She pissed me off. She pissed me off, y'all. Because I want to like Crystal. I really do. But I knew when she came at Sutton, when, like, the way she kept coming at Sutton and making fun of Sutton, it was like, girl, you're picking a target. You are picking a target and you're, like, having fun with it. Because for you to be so violated, for Sutton to walk up in your room, why would you make an off-color comment about Me Too when that is basically what they were trying to get you to understand about how you disrespected, like, how Sutton didn't want that to be associated with her. But, yeah, whatever. I can't with Crystal. I can't. So then Erica makes something talking about, I'm going to remember all the people who, she was like, when that day comes when all of this is over, I'm going to remember those who stepped beside me and those who didn't. And I'm like, and don't nobody care? Don't nobody care? I know I don't. So then she started crying, and this is when it got hella awkward. So she starts crying, y'all. And Garcelle was like, no, don't cry, and tried to wipe her tears. And that said, when I tell you she stayed, like, she was like, It was straight up like a block. I was like, ooh, that's cringy. That is cringy. Because she legit was like, now. No. I said, God dang. I said, why you had to play her like that? When I tell you, I'd have been so embarrassed if I was Garcelle. I'd have been so embarrassed. Because then Garcelle tried to hold her, and Erica's like, let me go. You can let go of me. You can let go of me. And I was like, oh my God. I said, Erica giving us a performance. So then Garcelle is embarrassed and feeling some type of way that homegirl pulled away from her. And then Kyle was like, Sutton, you're being two-faced. Tell her everything. And I'm like, Kyle, shut up unless you're going to talk about yourself. Like, unless you're going to talk about yourself, shut up, yo. Like, shut up. And then, so then she was like, so then this is when Erica got all angry. It was like, she said, how'd she do it, y'all? I'm trying to remember her face. Y'all, I'm going to post up a picture that I saw on Twitter that had me weak. They say Erica looked like an evil chihuahua. I was like, that's disrespectful. Oh, Jesus, y'all. When I tell you I laughed this entire episode, because I was just like, I was outdone by how, like, extra she was being. Excuse me, y'all. I was like, Erica, chill out. So then the liar part. So Erica was like, don't call me no liar. And something. She was like, don't you ever call me a liar. And then something happened. I forgot what she said. She was like, what are you going to do about it? Sutton said, so Erica's like, what are you going to do? Like, she was like, no, this is what happened. When she was like, don't call me no liar to Sutton was like, don't talk to me like that. And Erica's like, or what? Or what? Or what? That's what the fuck I thought. Or what? It was like, girl, did the volume wear off, ma'am? Did the Percocets? I was like, oh my gosh. And then they ended the scene with like her tears running down her face, which to me is very manipulative. No one just lets the tears run down their face. They always like grab a towel and like dab their tears like Candace does. No one just sits there like, I was just like, this is wild. I was weak. I was so weak. She was like, this is my effing life. I said, girl, you know what? Erica could be on CW. Y'all need to put Erica on the CW because their acting is so goofy. Like, her acting isn't it's not Tyler Perry-esque because we know Tyler Perry. Most of the people can't act, but it's very CW worthy. It's not ABC or Fox worthy, but it's CW worthy because she was like, my life, or what? Or what? That's what I thought. So shut up. Shut it up. I said, Erica. Oh, I'm done, y'all. Drop down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Remember to be bravely authentic. And I am out, y'all. Deuces.